bit pessimistic about them. I think some of it, Nick, also is their division. I think the Chargers are really good. I think Denver is a good team.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm
stunned
you have more faith in the Chargers than the Chiefs. I'm stunned.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are. I think that last year they had a good year. Obviously, didn't do anything in the playoffs, but they had two of their offensive linemen, which is important. Mm-hmm. We've seen Mahomes without his offensive line, and he struggled. Now, Herbert's a question mark. We haven't seen him do anything of note in the playoffs. And
I didn't think the Chargers made great, massive offs.
I'm giving McDaniel a lot. I'm thinking he's going to help Herbert. Sure. I give you that. Yeah. And I have a lot of faith in Harbaugh, too. Yeah. So I won't be shocked if they come back and get back to that contender, top contender status. But right now, I am, even to myself, a little bit, I just don't see it happening.
Are you Yeah, I already made a Chargers video before this video right now because Nick goes on an insane rant against the Chargers on the herd that's posting tomorrow. Everything kind of just got shuffled around. And I don't want to rehash that whole video because it's a great video if I do say so myself. But what I find really funny is Nick goes on and talks about how last season wasn't really as bad for the Kansas City Chiefs as people think, that if Patrick Mahomes played the whole season they could have beaten the Chargers in that game and that they would have won 8 or 9 games, blah 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 blah. And that after they beat the Commanders, they were Super Bowl front-runners and Patrick Mahomes was the MVP leader. Just a lot of bizarre revisionist history. And what I just find so funny is that the Chargers, their O-line again was decimated. And this was coming off a season, a Super Bowl that Patrick Mahomes obviously got destroyed, had one of his worst games ever. And everybody just emphasized O-line, O-line, O-line. That O-line is just so important. Then the Bears went out and fortified their O-line. Everybody praised them. People were saying, oh my God, the Raiders are making a huge mistake. You can't get Janty. You got to go O-line. The Chiefs drafted O-line. 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 And now the Chargers O-line gets decimated. The worst offensive line in the NFL. And yet they still survive. They still go on and beat teams like the Kansas City Chiefs. They get to the playoffs. They beat the Broncos. They win 11 games. And the O-line wasn't just magically bad. It was obviously two monsters who were injured. Now, we have all the reason to believe that they're going to be back. They're going to be healthy, right? This is with the expectation that it's going to be healthy. This offensive line should be light years better. Significantly better. And we keep trying to pretend like that means nothing. I don't understand. Mike McDaniel, when they were talking about with other teams like the Ravens or the Eagles, especially the Eagles, it was the sweepstakes. Oh my God, everybody wants Mike McDaniel. He is an offensive genius. He is amazing. Do you see what he was able to even just do a little bit with Tua? He is a genius. He is awesome. He is great. He is the coach that everybody wants. He's the coordinator that if he's willing to not be a head coach, he is the coordinator that every team should be losing their minds for. And then the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers get him and it's just is he really that good of a coach? What did he do in Miami? It's wait, what? Somehow it was devastating and an indictment on Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles for not getting Mike McDaniel, but with Justin Herbert and he gets him, it's just nothing. It's meaningless. The O-line is so important. The teams are out there spending hundreds of millions. They're spending every last dollar they can on the O-line. Everyone's trying to figure out who can they get left tackle, right tackle, center, who's in the draft. What can we do? What can we do? We need him. Oh my God, this lineman retired. Oh my God, this is going to crush this entire team. This guy's still injured and he might not be healthy again. Oh my God, this is going to crush and devastate this entire team. It's over. It's done. Except for when we're talking about the Chargers. None of that stuff matters. Why? you got to tell me why. So, we shouldn't have faith in a team that got an elite coach, arguably the best coaching hire in the NFL, not head coach. I mean, combining head coach and coordinator. Obviously, a head coach can have a greater impact on a team. So, you could say, well, Clint Kubiak and the Raiders, I get that. But I feel like if we're just talking about specifically coaching, just coaching itself, coordinating itself, people believe more in Mike McDaniel as an offensive coach than they believe in Clint Kubiak or Jesse Minter or Halfley, etc. At least they did prior to him. Getting to the San Diego-Los Angeles Chargers. And again, the O-line, something that is so important, has always been so important. And when a team that we like or a quarterback that we like loses with a bad O-line, we go, what about the O-line? But the Chargers win with a bad O-line and it means nothing. I made that video where I compared Justin Herbert with a bad O-line and Patrick Mahomes with a bad O-line and it wasn't close. It wasn't close. And in the games where Justin Herbert was pressured like 15 or more and Patrick Mahomes was pressured 15 or more, it wasn't close. It wasn't close. And I showed you all that Justin Herbert was actually on pace with a terrible O-line to have better statistical seasons than Patrick Mahomes was with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, the golden years of the Kansas City Chiefs. And you mean to tell me that we're not supposed to have any belief or optimism in the Chargers? I mean, I didn't know that Justin Herbert and the Chargers were Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. I didn't know that. Oh, it's Kenny Pickett and the Cleveland Browns. Oh, I didn't realize that's what we were talking about. I thought we were talking about Justin Herbert, Harbaugh, McDaniel, should be an elite O-line this coming season. And I didn't realize. I'm confused. I guess I got my teams mixed up, especially because I keep calling them the San Diego-Los Angeles Chargers. You know, the St. Louis Rams. I'm confused. Oakland Raiders, Baltimore Colts, Houston Oilers. I didn't. Sorry. Sorry. I get confused sometimes. Like what? And again, talking about the playoffs cause they're like well they just not prove it in the playoffs. Okay, sure. Whatever. At this point, we're talking about the division now. Because the whole thing is brew is like the division is harder. Like that's why it should be harder for the Chiefs. And it's true. The Broncos are better. The Chargers are better, the Raiders should be better. Like, everyone's better now. This isn't a circling the drain division anymore. And so, that now makes things harder for everyone, the Chargers included. And so, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be a bad team. And I do expect, you know, I don't know how we define a great year anymore. Like, what's the definition of a great year? And this is where it's always funny because you can play badly, but if you make it to the divisional round, if you're the Chiefs and Mahomes, it's considered a great year. If you make it to the Super Bowl, it's considered a great year. But the Broncos and Bo Nix make it to the AFC Championship game. He even balls out in a divisional round to get to the AFC Championship game, but nobody would say that Bo Nix had a great year. So, you're going to have to tell me what actually counts as a great year. Justin Herbert gets injured, has to get surgery, has the worst O-line and an inconsistent run game, etc., 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 gets to the playoffs, doesn't miss a game with that injury, still playing with a cast from the surgery and whatnot, but because he lost in the playoffs, that means it wasn't a great year. So, you're gonna have to tell me, how do we define a great year? Because no one said that Jalen Hurts had a great year in 2024. He won the Super Bowl. So, it's not about winning the Super Bowl. So, again, you're going to have to tell me what's considered a great year. So, this is where it's funny because I just made a video and super duper mega Kansas City Chiefs, especially mega Mahomes fan Sean in the comment section, he's very angry at my previous Kansas City Chiefs video. Like, I don't know why. I didn't really do nothing wrong. And he says you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. And it's like, what are the rules we're playing by? It's not my fault everyone just keeps making up rules. It's not my fault. 1 minute you want to say the O-line matters, the next minute the O-line doesn't matter. 1 minute coaching and coordinating matters, the next minute it doesn't matter. 1 minute it's a great year even though you don't win the Super Bowl. Another year it's you won the Super Bowl but it wasn't that great of a year because you didn't do enough. I don't know the rules. It's not my fault. I'm not the one that makes up the rules. I didn't create the sports talk world ecosystem. I just try my best to exist in it. I just try my best to navigate into it. So again, I don't know what to tell you. Because they'll say, well, Patrick Mahomes had a great year in 24 because he got to the Super Bowl. But then Jalen Hurts winning the Super Bowl, he didn't have a great year. Justin Herbert playing great with a bad O-line and getting his team into the playoffs wasn't a great year because he didn't win a playoff game and he got dominated in a playoff game. But then Patrick Mahomes gets dominated in the Super Bowl and it's like, well, it doesn't matter. It was amazing that he even got to the Super Bowl. And it's like, wait, what? It's like, wait, Lamar Jackson had a MVP year in 2023, but he lost in the AFC Championship game. Therefore, it wasn't a great year for him. Josh Allen didn't have a great year. He won the MVP, but he lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. So, it wasn't a great year. He choked. He wasn't good enough. It's like, wait, what? Patrick Mahomes gets to the AFC Championship game and they lose. And it's all he got to the AFC Championship game, the Arrowhead Invitational, but he didn't get to the Super Bowl. Yeah, but that doesn't matter cause he already won a Super Bowl. But then Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl, but then he didn't win the Super Bowl this year and therefore he didn't have a good year. Oh man, I'm getting confused. I honestly can't keep track. But that's me talking out of both sides of my mouth. I don't know. Seems like everyone just be saying a whole lot. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers? Do you think they deserve respect? I know we shouldn't have any type of optimism or respect towards them. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.